they're all in bed together. It's all a show.
Yeah.
It's not real. It's a scam. All of it. Left side, right side of the same fucking coin. Left wing, right wing of the same motherfucking bird. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a story about Mr. Jones, and Mr. Jones is having trouble in his plantation because the slaves are acting up. They're not performing. Mr. Jones is having an issue in his plantation because he's beating his slaves, but he's not getting the ROI that he wanted. So Mr. Jones goes and asks his buddies, his fellow plantation owners, what's the solution to get more out of my slaves? And he says, you need to go and get a hold of Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith will fix your plantation. So Mr. Jones goes and inquires with Mr. Smith, and Mr. Smith says, don't worry, tomorrow at first hour, just call all the slaves and I will personally talk to them. Just tell them that I am in charge and just leave it to me. The next morning rolls around. Mr. Jones calls all the slaves. They stand in front of the house plantation that's a beautiful white house. And it says, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you Mr. Smith. From here on out, Mr. Smith will be in charge of the plantation. Anything he says goes. He is here to make sure that everybody's happy and has a good time. Mr. Smith stands up, walks forward and says, from here on out, you are free men. You can do as you please. You can go wherever you want. You can eat whatever you want. But understand one thing. As soon as you leave this plantation, things out there will be dangerous. There will be terrorists. There will be plagues. Maybe some other slave master will pick you up and toss you into their slave system. But you are free to go. Or, well, you can be part of this democracy that we're about to create. And we can all work together and own the plantation under this new flag that I created, known as the Jones Plantation flag. And we will salute this flag together every day, and together we will build the plantation. And everybody cheers, yes, yes. And we will see you guys tomorrow at the same time you came in today when you were slaves. Next morning rolls around, 8 a.m., they're happy, rolling around. We're ready to work. By 2 p.m., one of the slaves is laying down under the tree. And Mr. Smith rolls around and says, why are you under the tree? Don't you see all your fellow men working? Don't you see all your fellow men vaccinated? Don't you care about everybody else? To the whipping post you go. We will make an example out of you. He talks to a couple of the other slaves and says, what do you guys think about this behavior? Isn't he lazy? He's not contributing towards the benefit and the good of everybody. Here's the whip. Take care of him. One slave whips the other slave, and everybody cheers. The moral of the story is that we believe we're free up until we break free from the illusion. The next day rolls around, and people witness that that slave was hurt and badly injured. They begin to question Mr. Smith's tactics. So Mr. Smith says, you know what? Call everybody together once again. We're gonna have a vote. I'm gonna stand back this time again, and I'm gonna let you guys pick once again if you want to work for Mr. Jones or for his cousin, Mr. Richards. You can pick today by vote whether you want Mr. Richards to run the plantation or whether you want Mr. Jones to run the plantation. And every 90 days, we will cast a vote and we will choose whether we want Mr. Richards or Mr. Jones to run the plantation. And we're gonna vote for this guy. Everything's gonna change. 90 days goes by, nothing changes. Let's vote for the other guy. Nothing changes. And then one day, one of the slaves revolts. Nothing is changing. Everything's the same. Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, and Mr. Richards together stand up and say, why are you going against the system? Why are you going against the benefit of the plantation? We all own the Jones plantation together. Beat him again. Silence him. And we see the same thing today in society. We're told that we are part of this, that we own the system, that we're free, until you're not. You can have your money frozen tomorrow. You can have your social accounts deleted tomorrow. You can have your assets seized tomorrow if you're outside of the system, if you're playing outside of the rules. And when it comes to this freedom concept, you need to understand that you have to get rich, you have to get highly connected, you have to get extremely well developed in order to win the game. This entire thing's a game. And if you see it as a game, you don't take it seriously. You play it. You play it to win. You don't play to be mediocre, you play to win. So everything you're doing, every attribute, every moment you're operating is to become a better person. And from that, benefits come. People want to make $1 million instead of becoming an excellent person. Become an excellent person and money will come.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to explain to people, that in this process of freedom, this illusion, this election thing that we're talking about, it's two fucking wings of the same bird. So I don't pay attention to it. I'm not falling for the traps of the illusion. I'm living in the future. Who's going to be running the world in 20 years?
Who do you think? The same people?
AI, systems, bro. One of the co-founders of OpenAI, in an interview, he said, AI has the ability to create stable dictatorships in perpetuity. So imagine a Hitler dictatorship with AI and perpetuity, where nothing gets missed. And that's the power of AI. Data collection, compartmentalization, and the ability to bring up a result in real time, shuffling through all the noise and the data of billions of people and bringing it to you in your face. That's the power of AI. That's how you're going to control society. So you can either operate under the premise of what every NPC does, which is be bound to the rules of the Jones plantation, or you can just say, I'm going to be a free man and I'm going to figure it out. And then you realize you leave the plantation and you're free. And it's actually great. And you don't allow fear of other people's decisions, of other people's understanding of the system to dictate how you operate. So when you operate in a different dimension and you think things differently and you operate and you understand pattern recognition, you don't play in the present, you play in the future. And money won't be super relevant in the future. Influence how we have it today, content-wise, I don't think will be as relevant in the future. Communities will be relevant, in-person connections, skills in the real world, these things will matter. And that's kind of what I'm building and talking about.